The Buffalo Bills Super Bowl window is wide open, thanks to one man. The Buffalo Bills, as of recent, have made a lot of moves on the offensive side of the ball. Today I want to go over some of those moves. Who and how they drafted and how these draft picks are going to work in their offense. The first big move I want to talk about from their offseason is the promotion of Joe Brady from intern offensive coordinator to full-time offensive coordinator. Joe Brady was the interim OC for the Bills offense for the last 9 games, and under him, the Bills offense completely caught fire. Joe Brady's only other time being an OC was for the 2020 and the 2021 Carolina Panthers, both teams going 5-11 and 5-12 respectively, both being one of the worst offenses in the league. But his 2 quarterbacks at the time were Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. Nowhere near the star power he has in Josh Allen. We've seen that he has undeniable chemistry with Josh Allen and the Bills offense, and I think this was definitely the right move for the Bills to make, and they have an offensive coordinator for the foreseeable future. Next up, I want to talk about the moves they made of wide receiver. First off, the signing of Curtis Samuel from the Washington Commanders. Curtis Samuel is absolutely a solid receiver who should only improve with Josh Allen throwing in the ball. Last season, he was able to pick up 623 yards with Sam Howell throwing in the ball, and we know that Washington's offense wasn't the best. So this was a great pickup for the Bills, who are just adding to their consistent receivers and great ballad of good tight ends. Next up is the one everyone's been talking about, the trading of Stefon Diggs to the Texans, which they turned into a 6th-round pick this year, which they used to draft a punter and a 2025 2nd and 5th round pick. Now, this move's not as bad as you might think once you consider that Stefon Diggs was bad in the big moments in the playoffs this year. Against the Chiefs, he only had 3 catches for 21 yards. Do you think that's good for a superstar wide receiver in this league? Now, I do think that could get a lot more value out of Stefon Diggs, but think of the situation like what the Chiefs did a couple years ago when they traded Tyreek Hill, but they just had consistent good production from a lot of good receivers and good tight end play. So as long as the Bills can get consistent good production, I don't think they'll miss a beat without Stefon. And finally, this year, the Bills drafted Keon Coleman in the draft from FSU with the 1st pick of the 2nd round. Last year, Keon Coleman had 1,500 yards and 19 touchdowns for FSU. Needless to say, he's going to be a great weapon for Josh Allen, and I think he fits perfectly in this offense. He's a bigger, more physical guy, and I'm not saying he's going to come straight in and fill Stefon Diggs' shoes, because he's not going to do that, but he'll be great. The Bills, believe it or not, once Joe Brady took over, were more run-heavy than they were at the start of the season. 51% being the amount of runs that they did over passes. And Keon Coleman is an amazing run-blocking wide receiver. So assuming that the Bills carry over the run-heavy philosophy that Joe Brady brought in, Keon Coleman's going to have a fat impact on this run game. It's important to know that Keon Coleman, more often than not, does not win with speed. He wins with his physicality and great route running. That's not to say he isn't a fast guy, because he is, but he's going to make a difference with physical catches. So from the draft, they picked up Ray Davis, who's a very versatile running back from Kentucky. Tylen Grabble, an offensive tackle that they picked up from UCF. The Bills' number 9 ranked defense from last season did lose a lot of players, but they were able to keep some of the most important players, including their cornerback, Ron Johnson, who they're able to keep in Buffalo for the next 3 years, and Daquan Jones, who they secured for the next 2 years, as well as AJ Expencia, their DN, that they're able to bring back for another 2 years. I see the Bills improving next year and maybe even going all the way. I mean, anything's possible when you have Josh Allen throwing the ball. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. If you disagreed with anything I said, let me know in the comment section.